Greetings, professional service firm owners. This is part two of digital marketing strategy, customer attraction roadmap for professional service firms. Part one, we covered level one, which was optimize your digital brand. And in part two, we're going to cover create a professional business website. So again, you're watching this series because you are the professional service firm owner or the person in the professional service firm who is responsible for coming up with a strategy for adding new customers to the professional service firm. And you are here to get some tips because again, you're looking for a strategy, some sort of plan, some sort of system, some sort of framework, that you can use to increase, the user, the internet and your digital brand to increase your customer base pretty much on autopilot, and but there's the roadblock is there. You don't necessarily know what are the best steps, what's the best framework, what's the best system. So that's why, I want to take you through ours at Diesel Digital so you can just have more information to make a more informed decision as to which direction that you want to go. So even if you decide to use this or not, you at least have something to measure a company's quote unquote KPIs, key performance indicators, from, because I've talked to some professional service firm owners who've said that they were paying companies all this money to do their SEO or to do their social media, but they just weren't seeing any return on their investment in regards to phones ringing, inbox with new messages for service requests, um, more payments collected. They weren't just seeing the activity, the business coming in online. So like I said, but then again, they didn't even know what questions to ask. You know what I mean? So that's why we want to have these. We have these questions here, so that at a bare minimum, you'll at least have a general idea of what you should be expecting from the vendor that you hire to that you outsource your digital marketing to, or the person that you hire as an employee. So you just understand what they even need to be working on a day-to-day basis. All right. So level two, create a professional business website. So again, so we're going to stick with our dentist example here. The first company we talked about, it was the Smile Studio. Um, so let's look at their website. Actually, let's do this. Let's come back. Let's come back here. Smile Studio. Actually, I could probably do it this way. Smile Studio. All right. So this is the Smile Studio website. Now this is the so your Google My Business listing is going to be pretty much the front line of your digital marketing activities, or the kind of like the first place most new prospective customers are going to find you. One of the first places you will be discovered. But once people discover you, then that's when the real selling starts. The real work begins, because now that you got their attention, now you got to sell them. So you got to compel them to want to give you a phone call or fill out a form on your site to leave some information, so that you can follow up with them. So 15 questions to go through real quick, and we'll use the Smile Studio as an example of what to do. So number one, do you have a domain name registered? So your domain name is pretty much the address here at the top that people will type in, or that the link that they'll click on, if they find you on a your Google listing. And so you can use a site called Namecheap. That's pretty much the one that I personally use, and or that I recommend clients use to register their domain names, because it is less. I know GoDaddy's a popular one there. Now personally, I like to have a lot more control. I don't like things to be a la carte, but that's pretty much what GoDaddy offers, which is why I like to buy my domains on Namecheap. And then for question number two, do you have a web hosting plan? And if you need web hosting, you can go to a site like I currently use DreamHost. But I've also used Bluehost. Whoops. So you can use DreamHost. Um, I like them because again, you can obviously most web hosting platforms allow you to set up WordPress on it already, but Bluehost, it's another popular one that you can use. What WP Engine is another popular one you can use because again, number three, do you have WordPress installed and update? The reason why I'm specifically using WordPress, I started using WordPress way back in the day when it first got created, and it's definitely evolved since that time. But WordPress is pretty much the number one content management system on the internet. It's the most popular one used. There's a lot of support for it. There's a lot of developers working on different sorts of different apps, tools, resources, themes if that's your style. But I'm more so custom layout type of guy because once again you want to have more as much control of your image as you can and much control of your brand as you can. And so if you can do it, go ahead and do it. And again, always be mindful. Just because you're a professional service firm owner, you're a dentist, a lawyer, something in finance, something in the construction, it does just because you don't necessarily have the skills and expertise and tech savvy to do the digital marketing doesn't mean that you don't be represented to the best of your abilities, because again you can just hire the best vendors that you can hire, or the employees that you can hire. But now that you're going to know the quote unquote questions to be asking, what they should be focused on, then you'll know how to go ahead and lead that ship. All right. So again, WP Engine, that's another one, another web hosting platform you can use. And like I said, they all pretty much allow you to set up WordPress, which is number three. So number four, do you have a branded modern website layout and design? So once you get your website, so we'll just use this as a basic example right here on the Bluehost page. Once you get your site up and as you're building your site, you already got your logo because we talked about that in level one. And then you go ahead and set up your site. Now there's levels to the website because again, the website is more than just some some virtual business card or some virtual interactive flyer that you can just set up to display some information, to basically talk about you and how long you've been in business and how your family owned, and 30 years experience and all that stuff. Now, I'm not discounting that or dismissing it, and not saying that it's valuable, but you got to be understanding the mindset of the digital searcher, the digital business searcher, because again, the internet is the digital main street. So you got a lot of competition. People got things that they need to get done. They're looking for very specific information, some very specific questions to be answered. And if you can't answer that within up to, I believe the stat most recently is about what is it, like 8 to 15 seconds, and they're gone forever. So you want to use your digital brand to answer the questions that are on these people's minds when they're looking for a professional service firm to handle the specific need that they have. All right. So again, you want to make sure your website is branded, modern, and it's designed to answer the questions that the customer has, not necessarily just to talk about you and what you got going on. Number five, do you have a compelling copy for each page and section? So again, you want to use the words, which is called copy, the text on the page for each page and each section. You want to use it to warm people up to doing business with you. So that's why you want to stay away from the generic corporate type of language and titles and headlines in a sense. And you want to speak the customer's language, because that's going to be something that they're going to be able to relate to and connect with. And if you're saying the things how they would say it and whatnot, then they're going to feel compelled to want to, at a bare minimum, reach out to you, which is what you want to use your digital presence and your digital brand for. So make sure you really put time and effort into the words that are going to go onto your website. And in our process, the words start first. We don't even dive into what the website is going to look like until we've first written out exactly what's going to be on the website. All right, because once you have the copy, then you know what to focus on and how it needs to be designed and to communicate the message that you wanted to communicate. But if you just start trying to design a website without first coming up with the copy, then you're gonna really take a long time, and you're really gonna be doing a lot of unnecessarily wasting a lot of unnecessary time, energy, effort, and money. So like literally write the copy first. Like that's literally the first thing that you do. Write out what real simple. Take out a piece of paper. You're going to obviously have core pages or core sections in a sense, because again, the core sections, answer the questions that are going to be on people's mind. They want to know who they're doing business with, so that's kind of like your about section, but about not from the perspective of we've been in business for these amount of years, but like we've solved this problem that you have, and that's why we're the best. That's why we're the best people to knock out this problem that you have. That's why you should hire us. All right. So it's a lot, like I said, levels to this, but we're just covering the surface. So next, do you have call to action buttons? So just real quickly, it's this purple button right here, or on the Bluehost's website, this get started button. That's what we call a call to action. So that's the button that you want people to click to start the transaction. So think about your business. Now, most professional service firms require some sort of consultation in a sense to get started, which is why, like you said, when someone's online doing their research, you want to make it easy for them to get in contact with you by leaving your phone, contacting you via the phone as a local, service provider for the most part, as well as just being able to, contact you via the website, whether now through it, if it's some sort of a chat feature. And you can do a lot of the AI chats, and then the chat bots are basically just glorified or FAQ pages. But you want to make sure that you at least have something so that you can communicate with your current customers and your potential new customers. All right. So do you have number 7? Do you have a lead capture form? So again, once as a professional service firm, again, there's some sort of consultation, some sort of appointment that needs to be set up, some sort of a call, some sort of a meeting. So now we're 2023 as of this recording. So we have tools like Zoom that were made famous and popular during the pandemic. So remote working is in right now. But again, use it to your advantage. So you can literally use tools like Calendly and Zoom to literally set up consultations that people used to have to drive to your office to come and do. But again, as I said before, when it comes to creating a professional business website, look at it beyond just being some platform to just display information. Turn it into an employee of yours, because again, put the internet to work for you. Make it do the heavy lifting, so you can literally turn your website into a salesperson, a receptionist at a bare minimum, with the ability, like I said, the lead capture forms, because that's all a reception. One of the main functions of a reception is just to answer the call and capture information and then pass it on to someone. And that's what your website can do. It can answer the call when people show up, from the search engines or wherever they discover you. And then, they collect information by filling out the form, and then that form gets sent to you via email for you to get it and then follow up with them, whether it's a call, a video call, or they're coming in, whatever it is. Just make sure that you can give people the ability to contact you, which is why you want to have lead capture forms. Number 8, be mindful that the majority of the people that come to your website are not going to be ready to do business the first time they come. So you always want to make sure you have a way of capturing their contact information so that you can just keep them in the loop, in a sense. Keep your your prospect pipeline full. And one of the ways you can do that is by offering some sort of a free gift to capture their the email information. So for example, going back to the dentist, let's see if they have some sort of a free gift, some sort of giveaway, something, or a newsletter. You know what I'm saying? Something to capture information. So right now, they do have a good sign here, which is an appointment setting form here. Because again, use the website as an employee. high, you put money into it, as if it was you did have an employee, so put it to work like it's one. So your website has the ability to do more than just show information. It can function. It can capture information. It can take orders. It can send messages. It can do a lot of things. You can program it to do a lot of stuff. So get the most out of it. You're putting all this time, energy, and effort into it anyway. So make the most of it. Like they're doing, like literally just something, having a form like this to set up an appointment is gold for your business, because now at a bare minimum, because you got to be mindful the customer. When are they doing this? A lot of people, they got to go to work during the day, so a lot of your potential customers, they're gonna be doing their homework when they get off of work in the afternoon, or when they're at work, so they might not necessarily be able to talk to you on the phone. But if they can't even send you an email because you don't even have your email address on your website, let alone a form so they can actually set up a specific date and time to talk to you, then how are you going to get the business? You don't miss out on business because you just didn't have the proper tools in place to capture the business. All right. So going back to free gift, looks like they don't have one, but you want to have things. So if you're a dentist, for example, you can have some sort of you know you know teeth whitening guide, or home care dental tips guide, a home care dental checklist for people, for potential patients that necessarily haven't done business with you yet, but but they they came, and they're doing their investigation, but they was like, oh, like, this is cool, let me see what this is about. So like, they boom, they click a little link, it takes them to a page where they fill out their name and their email address, and then like they get sent some sort of little PDF that they can look at, that literally something like you said, the Smile Studio home dental care checklist, and then you just something simple, and you just, but again, the lead magnet is what it's called. It's just there to capture the email information so that you can follow up with this person, because again, you've put all this work in getting them to your website, your digital reception area, in a sense, because you're a professional service firm, so you got them here. Don't let them just walk out the door, because if someone walks into your actual dentist office, you're just someone's gonna at least say hello. So it's the same thing online, so make sure you just have the proper tools and everything set up and in place. Number 9, do you have your main keyword in the title tag of all your pages? So the title tag is, so if we come over here and hover, so see how that pop up came, and it says the Smile Studio, then slash Inglewood, California dentist slash orthodontist Inglewood. So that's the title tag for this page, and that's where you want to make sure you put your main keywords. Ideally, you want to have one primary keyword, then you want to have like 2 or 3 secondary keywords, and then you want to have I think, what is it, tertiary, which is level 3. You can have like a whole bunch of those, but again, because when you're doing your SEO for your website, you're gonna have to put the words in these specific areas, and so you are going to be limited to the amount of words you can use, as well as its length, but you got to know where to put them. All right, but there's other places that you need to put the keywords as well. But like I said, we'll dive into that at another time. Next, do you have core pages for your service page, the subsidies you service, and the brands you service/install? So again, as a professional service provider, let's say if you're in construction, your HVAC, you work on, what's a popular brand? I can't think of one. Is it Coleman? No, that's camping gear. But let's just say, Coleman's the brand. You would want to put that. Or if let's just say you're a a dentist, tools repair person, and there's a specific Coleman, dentist drill that always gets serviced on. You would want to have a page like that on your website, so that when dentist offices are searching for, people to come repair their information, they're going to be using those, Coleman drill repair person, whatever. That's what they're going to use. So you want to have a page that can show up. So If you're the same premise though, if you're a dentist, in this case, it might be was it Evangesil, the little braces things. So let's go to their services page real quick. Go back. So it might be a dental brace. Yeah, there you go. Boom. So they Evangesil. So you want to have a looks like it goes to their braces page, but it would also be in their best interest to have a page dedicated specifically to Evangesil where they talk about how they use it to help you you know develop a smile you can feel confident about showing off. You know what I'm saying? Because again, you, it's all about how you word things too online. So okay, next one. Do you know what keywords your website and digital brand are ranking for? So again, we saw dental implants. This company, Smile Studio, they ranked for it. But that's one of the things you want to be mindful of. Are you you want to kind of be when you do your weekly digital brand checkup in a sense, you want to check in to see what words you're ranking for, because again you got your keyword list, so all you gotta do is just check in and dive down a couple of pages to know, because you'll start ranking for some words within a couple of weeks of publishing your website as well as some of the specific pages. But as you start to build momentum, because you got it's kind of like being organic lead generation is kind of like the snowball effect, to where it's like you got to just keep building momentum over time, and the more and more gravity and momentum you get, the bigger your digital snowball is gonna get, or your digital marketing momentum's visibility and discoverability is gonna get, and then boom, you know what I'm saying? Like you'll eventually be the best known. But if you just put a little bit of effort into it and then stop, then you're never gonna really get the most out of your digital marketing efforts. All right. So, number 12, do you have your name, address, and phone number on your website? So, you want to, again, phone number here, um, phone number always at the top, ideally top right, and then address, boom, here at the bottom with the phone number. Again, you just always want to make sure that you have that basic information on the site, because that's information that Google is also using to know, whether or not to rank you in the Google My Business listings. Because again, it's just, think of it kind of like a big spider web. Everything's connected, and Google's kind of like cross-referencing everything to determine, like, are these the people we should be showing. So the more you like, that's why you want to claim digital real estate, because the more digital real estate you've claimed that's relevant to the keywords that you want to be ranked for, the more likely you are to be shown by Google. So next, you want to have number 14, is your website mobile friendly or mobile responsive? So one way of checking that on a desktop, this is pretty much, their desktop version. But if we go smaller, we see that, the website, the website is, it's kind of cut off, as they'll say. It cut off. It's showing half of the site. It's not showing everything compared to if, see, a whole. So if we were looking at the site on mobile, it wouldn't be mobile responsive. Go back to the home page, you see, boom, half the site would be cut off. So this is an area of improvement actually for small companies. So we actually might reach out to this professional service firm and see if they can see if they need will like our help. But this is one of the areas that you want to definitely make sure you shore up online, because again, people are using smartphones. Everyone has a smartphone nowadays. So if when they go to use the internet, they can't access or even see your website because you're on their smartphone because you haven't optimized it, then they're gonna leave. You're gonna miss out on an opportunity, to get a new sale. All right. So number 15, can your website visitors leave you a message through your website? So whether it's going to be a form, but again, if you're not mobile responsive, then it's the form being on the site is pretty much pointless. See, when we make the site back to the desktop length, we can access the form here, But you want to have a lead capture form or some sort of a message form at a bare minimum. Or the most barest of minimum is you just at least want to have your email address on a contact page, so it doesn't look like they have that. Um, let's see, contact us. So looks like you can leave a message here. Oh, there's their email address. So boom, they at least have that. But again, you just want to make sure you all, because again, people want to be able to contact you. It's like think of it like this: when people are looking online, it's kind of like they're a suspect. You're a suspect to them, so they're doing their investigation to find out who's the best, and based upon, you know, if you've established and optimized your digital brand, if they were able to even discover you, then they're gonna look at your website to see, you know, if you are who you say you are, if you look the part. So that's why you want to make sure you create a professional business website and make sure that it's optimized and has all the proper elements needed to make sure you capture, you know, the business, get the lead, and then we'll talk about the next step in level 3, which is going to be, you know, making your website, your business website, that much more discoverable for your professional service firm. So that ends level 2, which was create a professional website. We talked about, you know, obviously how to, you know, the basic tools you need to set up a website. Then we talked about, you know, the important elements that you need to have on your website. And then we talked about some of the core pages you need to have on the website, as well as some of the core elements in regards to your name, address, and phone number. All right. And then most importantly, we talked about, you know, making sure that the website is mobile responsive, because again, people are using smartphones every day, all day to do a lot of their research, and you don't want to miss out on an opportunity to do some business with someone simply because they couldn't access your form because your website wasn't mobile responsive. All right. So that about does it. Stay tuned for part 3. Again, if you have any questions about what was covered, feel free to reach out, DM me, send me a message, or go to the website, dieseldigital.com, to set up and schedule, to look us up to schedule a call. All right. Stay tuned for part 3.